When on the road, a very important component of driving is having proper seat safety. Studies from the State of New Jersey Department of Law and Public Safety show that wearing seatbelts and arranging proper seating when on the road can save hundreds of lives and prevent hundreds of injuries during car crashes. According to the CDC, a rear-facing car seat is for children up to age 2 while weighing under 30 pounds. A forward-facing car seat is for children ages 2 to 5 while weighing less than 40 pounds. A booster seat is for children age 5 and up until the seatbelt fits properly. The recommended height for a proper seatbelt fit is 57 inches. It is said that all children should ride in the back seat until they are 13 years old. Airbags can kill younger children in the front seat, and you should never put a rear-facing car seat in the front or in front of an airbag. Buckle children in age and size-appropriate car seats, booster seats, or seatbelts on every trip, no matter how short. Using the correct car seat or booster seat can be a lifesaver. To make your ride even more safe as a passenger, sitting upright and not slouching to the sides is a big help. As the older people in the car, you should always wear your seatbelt to set a good example for others. Standing on a crowded bus or train can be difficult at times, but knowing what to do when you face this task makes it a lot easier. First, try to stand in the front of the bus where the effect of sharp turns and bumps may seem less pronouncing. Keep an eye of the driver's view of the street and anticipate sharp turns and stops. Also, stay as far away from other people to keep a good balance with your feet. Try not to run over other people's belongings and avoid getting knocked off balance by others. If space is limited, try to stay away from people with large bags or purses that may affect their balance or yours. Next, find a handhold. You might use straps, handrails, grab handles, or suspended rings, depending on the bus or train you are on. Always keep your center of gravity as low as possible and keep your balance with your legs and feet. You could even bend your knees a little. During sudden accelerations, bend your knees forward into the direction of travel. Also, lean into turns. Use your front foot, the foot perpendicular to travel, for lateral stability. When keeping your balance, resist distractions, be aware of your surroundings, and pay attention to the ride. Always know how fast the bus or train is moving. WikiHow states, the speed of the bus and the severity of braking will affect your balance. The faster the bus is traveling, the more likely the bus will tip forward and then backward if it makes a very sharp and sudden brake, causing you to skid forward. Prepare yourself for the possibility.
If there's a fire, you should tell a train crew member immediately. They will probably tell you to move to a different car if the fire is only inside one car. If otherwise, always follow the crew member's instructions. They know what to do. In any of these situations, you just need to stay calm. In any fire situations, you do not want to exit the train because the rails are electrified and could electrocute you. You also do not want to pull the emergency brake cord because the train will stop and you will be stranded and no one can get you help. There are other ways that you'll be asked to evacuate also. In some situations, a train will pull up behind, in front, or to the side of you. Then, a piece of wood will be placed in between the trains, and you will walk over to the other train, which will take you to safety. Sometimes, the power to the tracks will be shut off, and you will actually walk back to an emergency exit, and they will take you above ground to safety. If you find yourself in a situation where you need to evacuate a bus, this is what to do. Just like with trains, you want to follow the crew member's instructions. Most buses have assigned helpers that will assist you in exiting the bus. The first and main method of exiting a bus is through the back door. The two designated helpers on the train will open the back door and exit. Then they will assist everyone else in exiting through the back door. There's also the emergency hatch on the roof of the bus. This is usually used in emergencies where the bus is on its side. To open this hatch, you want to turn the handle and push it until the hatch is fully opened. There is also the emergency windows. You can open these by pulling the handle outwards and then pushing the window out. In addition to these emergency windows, there are also the front and back windows of the bus, which can be pushed out because they are connected to the bus by rubber. Lastly, on some buses, instead of a back door, there's a side door, and the process for exiting is the same. If you find yourself stuck on the tracks in a subway, here's what to do. You do not want to touch any metal parts of the rail. They are electrified and could electrocute you. If you have time before the train comes, try to get to the beginning of the tunnel or the end of the platform. There are staircases leading back up onto the platform at the beginning of the tunnel, and you should try to go up those before using other methods. In most subways that have two sets of track on the same side, there may be rails separating each one. You will want to stand in between these two rails so you won't get hit. On some subways, there are indentations in the walls for workers if a train is coming. They will work just as good for you, and you can fit inside one. If it says no clearance, then that means you may not fit in it and you could get hit, but it's still worth a shot. If you are out of time and the train is coming, your last option is to lay down in between the two tracks, because most subways have indentations on the bottom of the track, and it'll give you about 9 inches of clearance.
Before you enter the car that is going to take you to your destination, take a good look at the vehicle. A clean and well taken care of car are signs of an attentive and careful driver. Multiple dents and dirty windows are signs of an inattentive driver, according to the Accident Research Center of Monash University. Another sign of reckless driving is swerving in lanes. Swerving in lanes can show a tired, drunk, or self-preoccupied driver. There are many things that can occupy or distract the driver, such as food, drinks, cell phones, or the radio in the car. Don't talk to the driver too much, because passengers can be distractions as well. When the driver is distracted, they may not be aware of the other users of the road, such as cyclists, pedestrians, and other cars. If the driver is drunk or is using their cell phone, they probably don't know some of the driving laws, such as drinking and driving, seatbelt rules, and the speed limit. If your driver's car has been in many accidents, some of the lights may or may not work. It is important to have all of the headlights on the car in working order so the car can be as visible as possible during the nighttime. Cars with busted headlights can be prone to accidents and can acquire tickets from police officers. Your driver's mirror should be adjusted to the perfect angle for the driver in order to be able to see any car coming from any direction. If your driver does get into an accident, they should know what to do if there's a flat tire, how to act during the accident, what to do if the car flips over, etc. To prevent accidents, your driver should know where the brake, the gas pedal, and turn signals are located. Your driver should also know how to use the window wiper in case of a snowstorm or thunderstorm. If you're traveling to a different country, bring the correct currency to pay for meals, souvenirs, or rental car. Make sure you pack the correct clothes based on the climate of the area, so you will not need to buy any overpriced clothes from souvenir shops. While traveling, take the most easy and convenient route to your destination. Becoming lost in an unfamiliar area can be very stressful and dangerous. If you are traveling to a warm area, be sure to bring any sunscreen or any skin protector to prevent your skin from becoming burned. Know which form of transportation you are going to use beforehand. It might be hard to book a plane at the last minute. If you are traveling to a foreign country, make sure to bring your passport. You'll not be able to leave any country without your passport. If you lose your passport while traveling, there are many things you can do. The most effective way to get your passport back is to notify the closest U.S. embassy or consulate. It's important to tell the consular officer if you're planning to leave the country soon. They will know whether or not to give you a limited emergency passport or a full validity passport. Before you do this, you will need to take a new passport photo, fill out an application for a new passport, and a statement regarding the lost passport. After doing this, you need to go to the U.S. Embassy and show the officer identification, such as a driver's license or any other form of identification. After showing identification, show a form of itinerary, such as a plane, boat, or train ticket. Then show proof of birth in the U.S., such as a birth certificate. After all this, you will need to pay a fee of $140 unless you are the victim of a crime. If you cannot afford to pay the fee of $140, you can give the officer the name of a person who can afford to pay. Once you have done this, you will need to wait 4 to 6 weeks until your new passport arrives, unless you have plans to travel back to the U.S. immediately.